Hey guys, sorry for the slow uploads this month. Seasonal depression is hitting me like a truck. Let's talk about SpongeBob. So SpongeBob SquarePants Titans of the Tide just had a public demo released on Steam. A couple of people got early access. I was unable to because of the stupid website where you have to do it. It's completely broken for some people. Unfortunately, I'm one of those some people. But whatever, I got to play it. I'm a couple days late to the party. I gotta say, this demo surprised me in a way I wasn't expecting. I'll get into it, but you know, if you could hit that like button and subscribe if you're new, that'd be awesome. This video needs as much help as it can get because I'm late to the party. So Purple Lamp Studios are the masterminds behind SpongeBob's kind of recent 3D resurgence in gaming. They spearheaded the Battle for Bikini Bottom remake, and then a couple of years ago they also did SpongeBob Cosmic Shake, and I was a really big fan of both of those games. I thought they were great. I know a lot of people weren't super crazy about the Battle for Bikini Bottom remake, but I enjoyed it for what it was, you know? And then Cosmic Shake, I also really enjoyed. I haven't had a chance to go back and replay it yet since it originally came out, but I've been meaning to get around to it for a while. Maybe I'll stream it. I'm kicking it around. I'm struggling to get myself to do a whole lot of anything right now. Sitting here and forcing myself to hit the record button for this video was a whole task in itself. So anyway, Titans of the Tide is the third crack at a SpongeBob 3D game from Purple Lamp. So where SpongeBob Cosmic Shake felt more like a spiritual successor to Battle for Bikini Bottom, Titans of the Tide is doing something a little bit different. I guess let's start with the story. Let's talk about the story here a little bit. So the Flying Dutchman rolls into the Krusty Krab because I guess he wants some lunch or something, and he is forced to wait in line like everybody else. Not gonna lie, this part cracked me up.
Ramble before me!
Get in line like the rest of us, old-timer.
The Flying Dutchman waiting in a line of simple mortals? Unimaginable! Unthinkable!
Several thinkable hours later.
So then he gets to the front of the line and King Neptune rolls in and just, you know, he punts him out of the way. He's like, my turn, I want a Krabby Patty. And the Dutchman's like, hey, you're an ass. You're an asshole, bro. And then they fight and they blow the Krusty Krab up. So then it's up to SpongeBob and Patrick to save the day. Yep, that's right. Patrick is once again playable in a SpongeBob 3D game. He's not just tagging along for the adventure. And, you know, right from the get-go, I thought this was a really cool change because SpongeBob and Patrick get to have different, unique abilities that I'm hoping are gonna lend itself to some cool variety in the gameplay. You get a little bit of a taste for it in this demo. The demo is like maybe about an hour long. It took me about an hour, but I'm also the kind of guy to comb over everything pretty thoroughly, so you could probably beat it in a shorter amount of time. But yeah, you can swap between SpongeBob and Patrick at any time with their BFF rings, and whoever's not in play becomes a ghost. Patrick can like burrow underground, and SpongeBob can do like a karate kick. Patrick can pick things up and throw them. SpongeBob, I don't know, he probably does something else. I'll be completely honest here with you guys. The whole Dutchman and Neptune clashing thing didn't really immediately stick out to me as like the most interesting story direction for a game. To be honest with you, it still doesn't really stick out to me that much. In the back of my mind, I was wondering, like, you know, how are they gonna stretch this idea across an entire game, you know, like I'm assuming 10 to 20 hours, somewhere in there, I don't know. But, you know, it's gonna do the classic SpongeBob thing it does. It'll fill up the world with characters that you're familiar with. You get to interact with them and goof around and all that kind of stuff. It's not always gonna be laser focused on the Neptune-Dutchman feud, so I guess it makes sense. And ultimately, it's not really that big of a deal. What matters to me is the gameplay. Is the game fun? Is it fun to play? So far, I'd say yes. Here's the part that really surprised me. Here's what took me by the balls and made me go, whoo! So in the opening moments of the game, you actually get to spend more time with Patrick. You run your way along this linear path up to the Krusty Krab. It seems like fairly standard 3D SpongeBob gameplay that we're used to. But after you meet up with Mr. Krabs on the Flying Krusty Krab blimp thing. You get thrown into this lagoon area, and then the game opens up a little bit. There is a main objective that I'm sure you could probably just like blast through this area and complete. But there's also a lot of little side objectives and side things to do, and a decently sizable little chunk of level to just kind of openly explore. I thought it was interesting because, again, like, we're not used to seeing level design kind of like this in a SpongeBob game. Battle for Bikini Bottom and Cosmic Shake were a lot more linear in the level design, which, me personally, I don't mind that. I like being able to go from point A to point B, have some fun challenges along the way, some fun platforming, and like, that's all I need. But yeah, I mean, you can do all kinds of stuff here. You can go help Squidward getting a sculpture made. You can go talk to Mrs. Puff and clean up the beach. You clean up the trash on the beach, or have a race with Larry. So yeah, immediately, like, in my mind, I almost got kind of like Banjo vibes from this. You go talk to characters, NPCs in the world, and then complete little tasks for them, and then you get a reward. Now, I will say, the only thing that I'm not so sure about as far as doing these little side quests and getting these rewards is that I don't know if the rewards feel all that rewarding to me just yet. Because you get a costume for completing these little side quests. Either that or you get some pocket change. And like, it's kind of cool. Costumes in 3D platformers seem to have taken off big in, the past decade. It's a neat way to reward your players for going out of their way and doing everything. But I don't necessarily know how to feel about it being like the main collectible. I don't know. It feels to me like there needs to be some other kind of main collectible, which, to be fair, there totally could be something here that they just didn't have in the demo, it could be further along. The golden spatulas, for instance, in Battle for Bikini Bottom, that was like the main collectible of those games. I wouldn't even mind it if they just reused that. That would be fine. But you collect the costumes in this, and it's a little bit unceremonious, I guess. I don't know. This is more of a nitpick than anything. It's not gonna make or break it for me or anything like that. Something else that I noticed and felt early on, I just kind of felt like the movement was a little slow. SpongeBob and Patrick, I felt like they needed some help to get around. I'm like, I just feel like there needs to be a run button or something. And then lo and behold, getting to this lagoon place, you actually pick up like a ghostly surfboard in this place that you can pull out and use at any time, and it allows you to move around the map a whole lot quicker. I was like, no way, they actually did it. I don't know if it's always going to be available at like every point in the game, but at the very least, I felt like in this kind of more open area that it was necessary, and I'm glad that it was here. And it does seem like you can even open up this area a little bit more, probably at a later point in the game, because you couldn't do it in the demo. So there's even more to explore. Now, I don't know if like every area of the game is going to be as open as this. I'm assuming that this is probably just a sampling of what the rest of the game is going to be like. I would assume it's probably going to be a mix of sort of open areas like this and more linear platforming sections that like we're used to from these SpongeBob games. This is all speculation on my part, so don't take any of it as gospel. So yeah, SpongeBob Titans of the Tide, for what it is, I think it's going to be pretty fun. I enjoyed myself the little bit that I got to play of this game. I'm pretty sure I said it in my initial video talking about my excitement for this game, but these are licensed kids 3D platformer games. I'm really not looking for anything revolutionary here. Just a fun, modern, cartoony, colorful SpongeBob 3D platformer. They really could have just continued to follow in the footsteps of Battle for Bikini Bottom and Cosmic Shake, and I would have been satisfied, but it is kind of cool to see that Titans of the Tide is doing something at least a little bit more ambitious here. It'll be interesting to see how they play with the swap mechanic, between SpongeBob and Patrick. I feel like there's a lot of potential to have some fun and creative puzzles there. It's just, didn't get to see a whole lot of that here in the demo. It was more introductory to these mechanics and stuff, so, maybe the real creative, deeper stuff comes a little bit later on. The voice cast, as always, is pretty on point. Occasionally, you can tell there wasn't a whole lot of direction given to some of the characters. Like, I forget, there were some NPCs arguing about Krabby Patties or something, and the way the second guy responded to the first guy, I'm like, that wasn't the right version of that delivery.
great. Stuck in traffic. My favorite.
Really? I thought Krabby Patties were your favorite.
But again, I'm just nitpicking. So, SpongeBob Titans of the Tide, the demo edition. Did you guys have a chance to play it? Are you looking forward to it? I'm interested. I've had luck doing this before, so I'm just gonna do it here. Hey, THQ or Purple Lamp or whoever needs to see this. I'd love to talk about this game some more. So if you want to hook me up, with a copy, I mean that'd be cool. You know me, I love me some SpongeBob. I have SpongeBob to thank for my online presence. So that's kind of stupid, but also kind of cool. Anyway, leave any and all thoughts that you have about SpongeBob Titans of the Tide in the comments below. Hit that like button if you enjoyed, and subscribe if you're new here. I'm gonna continue to try my hardest to pull myself out of this stupid funk that I'm in. I don't know if any of you out there struggle with seasonal depression as we get into the fall, but I do every year, and it sucks. Well, that's kind of a dark way to end the video.
SpongeBob, yay! Yay!
Come on, SpongeBob, let's go play more Titans of the Tide!
You got it, Patrick!
I don't know. Okay, anyway, bye.